right, welcome back. This is the first of the vacation episodes. Alex Posani, 25 degrees. We got the great Stefan Carney here. The man between the pipes, the man in the church. You're a guy of a lot of different talents, but you and I, we go back to the first year of the New Hampshire Mountain Kings. You came in, I think, a little bit later in the year, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, just let's just run down the story. How'd it go? How did you end up in New Hampshire with me?
That was my last year of juniors, and I got an opportunity halfway through the season. I was with the Twin City Thunder and the NCDC to go there, so I took advantage of that, and then that's how I met you, and then that's how I opportunity to go to college and where I'm at University of New England.
And you are playing with our good buddy Damon Bossy, who we mentioned right before the start of the show. How is it at UNE?
I'm enjoying it. College is cool because it's a place where you have kind of all your worlds combined. So you got the hockey world, and then you got the academic world, you got the social world. Everything's under kind of like one roof. So no, I'm loving the college experience.
So looking at the Twin City Thunder roster from 23-24, and there's some names I am quite familiar with. First of all, our good buddy Cole Ronick. So you got to play with Roney. Of course, he just wrapped up his second year with, or I guess, I mean, he was with us at the showcase the first year, so I'd say he's a 3-year Mountain King. You also had my good buddy Jack McDonald, the coastal boy. How is it? I mean, those two guys, are they not the best?
Yeah, they're awesome. Yeah.
So going to, you're originally from Wheeling, Illinois. Is that, how far out from the, Chicago area is that?
It's like about an hour or so. But actually, as of, right before moving to college, my new home base is in Florida, actually.
Okay.
My mom is down there, and my dad is actually moved out to Nevada for work. So I got many homes, you can say, but I've kind of relocated from Chicago, but I still have a lot of family there.
You kind of trending more towards the warmer climates.
Yeah.
So you a big Blackhawks guy?
Yeah. I'm not like a diehard, but definitely if I had a team, it'd be them.
So you were born in '03, so you got to experience the good years of the Chicago Blackhawks.
The dynasty.
Oh, man. And I'll just say this. I'm a Stars fan. I grew up in Dallas, and when you guys the Hawks would beat up on the Stars like nobody's business then. And, it was tough to be any other team in the Central. You got to experience a lot of really good hockey during that run. Is that one of those things, like, being around that kind of infected you with the love of the game and stuff?
It definitely helped, for sure. I originally got into hockey because my dad played. He was a goalie. So it started from very, very little where we got into the sport. But definitely have an opportunity to go to some Blackhawks games during that prime time was pretty cool.
That is awesome. And what goalie, do you have any goalies that were like an inspiration who you style yourself after? Or it was kind of one of those things where you kind of just like, I'm going to do my own thing here?
No, my dad got me into watching Dominic Hasek a lot.
Oh.
And so he was kind of like past when I was like kind of growing up, but still I got to see a lot of clips from him. And then goalie that just recently retired that I always loved was Fleury.
Oh, yeah. How can you not?
Yeah.
If you say you don't like Marc-Andre Fleury, I don't think you're a real decent human being. That's a good dude.
It is.
Man, everybody loves Fleury. Like I said, if you don't love him, there's something wrong with you. Check yourself there. Hasek's not a bad one. He changed the game. You could make an argument that, the athletic style of goalies that you see today, that's a result of Dominic Hasek. And that's not a bad guy to kind of style yourself after. You a big Cubs guy?
I never really got into baseball, but if I had to pick a team, it'd also be the Cubs.
Okay, because Wheeling is more towards like the north side, so
yeah.
definitely not White Sox guy.
No, not White Sox.
Oh man, so you're from that area. You end up going to play a little bit in Des Moines. You played one game with the NTDP. Was that at USA Hockey Arena in Plymouth?
No, that was in Iowa. That was in Waterloo. I
Okay.
was able. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Get called up there for a weekend and got some last minute action, but it's still fun. Yeah,
How did it feel to walk in the locker room and see the the USA jerseys and all that the
it
and
was pretty cool. Yeah, it's like thinking about it more. I appreciate it more now than I did then. But it was actually interesting because I was during COVID, and so I actually, because I wasn't technically like part of their official roster, I had to get dressed in a separate locker room because like certain rules with COVID. So I was like, oh, that's interesting.
right.
Uh, but no, it was still fun.
I mean, hey, you got your own private locker room.
Yeah,
It's never a bad setup.
yeah.
Looking at that NTDP roster, there's some good names on there. I mean, Luke Hughes, the Manchester, New Hampshire native. Man, there's a lot of time merchants. Lane Hudson. It's a pretty good group to have in front of you as a goalie.
hmm
And I mean, it's just one game there, but was there anything that you picked up from that one game that helped you down the road?
Honestly, I feel like you can. There's obviously like different levels of hockey, but it's a lot about making the most opportunities you have and also the connections and really knowing that personally for me I feel in terms of potential that I know I have a lot more in me. Like I haven't like especially now like I haven't hit like my kind of like my ceiling.
Yeah.
I know that we have a lot more to go, which is what you want. Like you want to be able to know like deep down that you have a lot more in you. So that's
I don't disagree, and I feel the same thing with myself as a PA guy. Like I feel like the best is yet to come,
mhm.
and I've always thought that if I ever felt like I've kind of reached like where if this is as far as it's gonna go, that I feel like I would have a real tough time keeping going because like for me, the chase and the hunt of making it to the top is a big reason why I do it. Like the striving to get better, the striving to improve myself. And if I got to a point where no matter how hard I work or how much I get better that I'm just going to stay where I'm at, it's got to be I mean it would be very very difficult to the long hours, the long drives, the just everything that goes into it. Like people are going to see what I do, say, "Oh, he's bitching about having the most fun job in the world." Like, but no, I mean it's one of those things. Like if like if I knew that I had maxed out my potential, I'm probably going to start thinking about trying to find a line of work that doesn't involve all the crazy hours and stuff. But I mean, is it a similar thing with being a goalie where knowing that you still have more to give and knowing that you're capable of more, is it one of those things where that just pushes you to go even harder?
100%. Yeah, it's a lot of it is I feel like you're either a lot of us were born with different kinds of you could say like innate drives.
Yeah.
There's definitely people that have more of that self-driven motivation, inspiration, and then it's also based on the setting you put yourself in terms of whatever career field you're in, knowing you have more to give.
So that is an interesting point. I've thought about that as well. I think some people are definitely more hardwired to
100%. Yeah.
be motivated for things. I mean, I know what motivates me. It's success, happiness, being able to give back to the people who have supported me. Like the first thing I think of is, I was talking about this with a buddy of mine yesterday. I'm one day I want to be an NHLPA guy, and that is why I get up in the morning every day and do what I do. Like that is the goal. But the thing I think about when I think about opening night, whatever NHL team hires me, if it ever happens, the thing I think about first is I have a list of 100 people that I'm going to buy 100 tickets for opening night, and I'm going to invite 100 people to go. Just people who have been a part of the story, people who have been along for the ride. And that is the thing that excites me, is all my friends and family, everyone who's been a part of the ride being there to kind of see like, hey, it paid off, And That's what drives me. I mean, also, money and power. I feel like that's a universal thing for people. Maybe I'm listening to too much Kanye West these days, but what are some of the things that you would say drive you?
My faith is definitely number one. I have a lot to learn in my faith, and I feel like even at times it's questioning whether, like, in every situation I'm putting my faith first. But I feel no matter what situation I'm in, doing what I can to use that platform to glorify God, whether it's just doing like the prayer circle at the end of the games, like praying with the team before the game. Like, I have a pretty cool church crew that comes with me weekly. Like, doing hard things is also something that motivates me. Just to give you an example, like, it's pretty cold here in Maine most of the year,
Oh, yeah.
but we go in the ocean every other week, in the Atlantic Ocean. It doesn't there's times where we went. There's literally ice. The water is frozen in the ice, like the first like foot out, and that's like brackish water. So
Yeah.
it's got to be colder than 32 degrees
Right.
For that to freeze. So what really motivates me, I feel, is my faith, and then being challenged, and then like you said, like having the right people in your corner.
Yeah, and that's one of those things that as an athlete, you definitely have a platform to spread
Yeah,
a message. And I mean, the thing I've always admired about you, and from the time that we were in New Hampshire and, following you on social media, is that I feel like some people, they say the right things, but they don't back it up in action. And on the flip side, there's some people that say all the wrong things, but when push comes to shove, they do the right thing. I think I kind of fall into that second one. I'm a guy, I'm a degenerate, but I like to help people. I like to be kind to people. You are like everything you say you live. And like that's something that I genuinely admire. That's why I wanted to have you on the show to talk about like what you're doing. And I've admired the like you talk the talk and you walk the walk. And quite honestly, there aren't a lot of people who do that in today's world, And it's is it one of those things where it just comes naturally, or do you just have to kind of step back at times and remind yourself like this is what I need to do here?
I feel like it's a little bit of both, but I think mostly it's more of a natural thing, that it's just part of my character and also what I've been taught and how I've been raised with my family, that if you're going to say you're going to do something, you're going to do it. And it's about the perspective of how you do anything is how you do everything too. It doesn't matter like school, hockey, academics, like being able to. And there's also part of this is also feeling like you always could have done more in certain situations because you have more in you.
Right.
But I feel like it's mostly been innate, natural thing.
And then, hey, that's a credit to a good support system at home. So, back to hockey. You go to Maryland for a brief stop, and then you end up in the beautiful port city of Corpus Christi.
Mm-hmm.
That is a place I've been to many times. What do you think of Corpus Christi playing in the American Bank Center?
I've definitely the favorite place I've ever played hockey, because I'm even though I play hockey, I'm a more warm weather guy at heart for sure. So it kind of works well that my parents are now both in warm states. But no, it was just a pretty cool experience being able to play hockey and have palm trees and be right on the ocean. Have a pretty cool fan base. That was my favorite place I played so far.
Did you make it to any Corpus Christi Hooks games while you were down there?
I did not.
No?
But they were pretty big.
Oh, yeah. You're there around the time that the Astros are winning the World Series, so
yes,
they are the Astros AA. I've been down there for a couple of Hooks games. I've been down there for an Ice Rays game. Of course, working for the Brahmas, that's part of the fun. Trying to see. There is the USS Lexington there. Did you make it onto the Lexington while you were there?
Yes, I've done that. Yes.
What'd you think about that?
It was pretty cool. There is definitely some cool history there.
Yeah.
My favorite part about Corpus is definitely the beauty and like just the location.
Yeah,
for sure.
One of the really interesting things about the rink there is you are on the water.
You literally, you're on the water you can see it right from the rink.
I mean, you walk 20 yards and you're basically in the bay. Now, it's definitely an interesting part of the part of the state of Texas. My great grandmother is from Port Lavaca, just up the road a little bit. So I spent a little bit of time down there. And did you learn to appreciate Selena while you were there?
I heard, yes, definitely.
That's she's a big deal down in that part. What was
Hmm.
what was something that kind of surprised you? If there was anything about Corpus, was there anything that you didn't really expect that you kind of found out there?
Just geographically, I was kind of surprised how big of a city it is.
Yeah,
Like, it's got a lot of population. I think it has like 300 something thousand,
right.
but it's so spread out. But honestly, living there is the reason I actually want to live in Texas when I'm older. That's definitely my favorite place, my favorite state I've lived in, and it's either I know when I'm older I want to live in like either Texas or Florida, but definitely somewhere down there.
Hey, you ever end up in Texas? I'm your guy to tell you where to
Yeah,
go. This is home.
yeah,
This is
thank you.
home for me.
Yeah,
How'd you feel driving over the causeway the first time?
the Causeway. What is
The
that?
the big the big bridge that you're going up, and
Oh,
yeah, you
yeah,
know that big
it's a
bridge.
cool bridge.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
I remember I was gripping the steering wheel so tight driving over that thing the first time. Oh, and
I,
sorry, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say there's also in Florida where I'm at. So my mom and my little brother are down there now, but there's this really cool bridge. We're near Jacksonville
Okay.
area, and it's right along like going to St. Augustine. There's a pretty beautiful bridge, and even actually the Maine New Hampshire bridge. I'm sure you've been
Oh
on. I
yeah,
don't know what called it,
I'm
but
not
that's a pretty cool
on
bridge too.
95. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. No, there's a lot of cool stuff up here. I think the closer you are to water, you get more
yeah.
opportunities for cool stuff like that.
Hmm.
So Corpus, you're down there and getting to play in the dirty South.
Yep.
Getting to play up against my boys, the Brahmas, my former employers, the Mudbugs, the Odessa Jackalopes, and that nasty barn of the Ector County Coliseum. What were some of the highlights of playing down in the South?
The the bus trips. If you could if you could survive in the South with your shortest trip being 8 hours,
Right.
like from Corpus, which was still Lone Star, you can do it. Like anything else is like a piece of cake.
Yeah.
Like living in New England, playing in New England, like college and even juniors, it's nothing compared to that. Um, that's definitely pretty memorable.
I've been a part on those bus trips, and yeah, I grew up in Dallas, so I'm used to the drives.
Yeah,
I have family in Tucson, Arizona, and it's a 14-hour drive from Dallas. 12 of those hours are in Texas.
yep.
I mean, by the time I get to El Paso, it's like, hey, I'm 2 hours away, folks.
Texas is huge. Yeah,
And it's a massive state. And once you get out west, yeah, I mean, I'm sure you remember driving to El Paso. Once you get past like Kerrville, there's not a whole lot out there. I actually own 50 acres in Alpine, so just out there in the middle of nowhere,
yeah,
out in the desert.
yeah.
No, it definitely is a massive place, and you know what's interesting about the Null South Division is a lot of the teams, the Ice Rays included, the Brahmas, the Mudbugs, Odessa, they're continuations of former minor league franchises. So you have these programs that have been around in some form or fashion, different leagues for almost 30 years now. And I mean, I remember with the Brahmas, you have a lot of the same fans who have been around for those 30 years. You have a lot of the same employees who have been around for the 30 years. With the Mudbugs, I mean, Mudbugs fans, they're maniacs, but there's one thing you can say about them. They are ride or die with their team. I honestly, I'm going to say this right now. I think Mudbugs fans are some of the best fans in all of hockey. Like, the way they support their team and the way they make the Hirsch an intimidating place to play. These fans have been along for the ride for 30 years. And, I mean, at this point, you have grandparents who took their kids to games, and now those kids are taking their kids. It is a different scene than the Northeast, where junior hockey doesn't get 5,000 seat crowds in Maine or Massachusetts or New Hampshire. But down here, it is such a unique thing, and I don't think that
Yep.
people really appreciate it if you're not from around here. And it is something special, but, going to play in Corpus, going to play, at the Hirsch and at at NITEX and Ector County Coliseum. Did you get a sense of appreciation for just the history of the franchises and the the continuation of those 30 years that are around all the time?
Yeah, yeah, 100%. It's also, you're right about the fan base. That was pretty cool too, because I remember there was a game I played. It was in front of 3,500 people, and you don't. It's not. Yeah, you don't really get that experience in New England as much. So they're all pretty cool experiences.
Did you get pelted with the plastic mud bugs in Shreveport?
I don't recall, but I do. Yeah, I think I do recall them throwing stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the carrots in Odessa.
Yeah.
Honestly, like the Odessa Jackalopes, I like to poke fun at them. Odessa, Midland, that is a rough area. Like, it is hard to live out there. I mean,
it's oil country.
Yeah, and I mean, it lives or dies on the oil business. And the people who can stick it out there, those are tough people. And there's not a whole lot to do out there. I think that, the Jackalopes give that area something special. And I will admit that like I said, I like to poke fun at them, especially because 30 years in the league, they have never won a championship at any of the 3 leagues they've been in, but they do have a very large banner that says Central Hockey League Best Concessions 2006. That's their championship. No, but all jokes aside, like, being a Texan, being a guy from like a non-traditional hockey market, I root for programs like that to be successful. And playing in Corpus, you are playing in an area that, like I said, is a non-traditional hockey market. And, when you're out and about, getting food or, people ask you what you do and you tell them, hey, I play hockey for the Ice Rays. Were there a lot of conversations where you're suddenly having to explain who the Ice Rays are to people?
Yes. It was kind of like even you had the crowd that would go to the games that like knew hockey, and then you had the crowd that had no idea what hockey was, but they just came for the experience.
Right.
So it was definitely like a mix of people. I don't recall too many like conversations I had like outside of the rink with people. Maybe there were a couple, but yeah, it was either like you said, it's not traditional hockey market, so a lot of people there just like heard about it and go and just enjoy it, but they have no idea actually about the sport of hockey.
Well, that's part of the fun. You get to share. Like, I love people who are new to the game because I get to share like what I love about it with them.
Yeah.
So you end up going to the North Iowa Bulls. Mm-hmm. And how was it out in North Iowa?
I enjoyed it. It was definitely interesting, kind of like transition. But my favorite part about that was actually the people I met. My billets were so awesome. I still am in contact with them today. And it was, at that point, I was still in Chicago, so it was closer home where I got to see my family more.
And, it's certainly different, certainly not a bad spot. I've been a little bit over Iowa over the years and been to a Iowa Wild game, and I think I went to
I have too. Yeah, a couple.
Hey, Des Moines, that's an underrated city. It doesn't get the respect it deserves, and I'm going to, that might be a... something that might be a controversial statement, but we're going to put it on wax here. I think Des Moines, underrated.
So. Yeah, I enjoyed living. I lived in Urbandale when I played U18 for Des Moines Buccaneers, their U18 program. And so I was like a little bit outside Des Moines, but that area is pretty nice. It's definitely getting more developed.
So I know you said you're not a baseball guy, but unfortunately I'm baseball brained right now with hockey season being over. Did you make it to any Iowa Cubs games while you were there?
I did not either, but I definitely heard about them a little bit.
I haven't been to an Iowa Cubs game, but when I was headed up to Minnesota to see a Stars and Wild game, I stopped at their ballpark and got in there. I bought an Iowa Cubs hat and a Chris Bryant Iowa Cubs bobblehead. So I've got one of those at home. I don't know where I'll ever wear it, but I'm kind of a cap collector to the chagrin of everyone around me. So you go on to play the North Iowa Bulls, then you end up with the Twin City Thunder. That is a team that head coach of the Mountain Kings, Cam Robichaux, had some connections with. And was that one of those things when you went to the Thunder that were you kind of aware that if things went well that a certain null coach in New Hampshire might come calling?
Honestly, not really. Uh, that was just at that point in time seemed like the best opportunity. And then whenever that opportunity came up, I mean, it's all about
Yeah.
connections, right? So it's like who you know, when you know them, and the relationship you have with them that you can really help, kind of like use and like build those connections, help get you where you want to go.
And so coming to New Hampshire, uh, let's just run down. How did you? Who called and just how did it all happen?
It was Coach Cam. He had the connection with Twin City, and so it was during like the Christmas break time that the opportunity came. And it was kind of like a big, I mean, it was a big decision because that was my last part of my age out year. So kind of just figuring out what would be kind of like best. I'm a very loyal person,
Right.
and I'm very just naturally I feel like kind of definitely think about everyone as a whole when I make a decision. And so it was that's a decision where I kind of had to feel like I had to make the decision that was best for me. And so it wasn't easy, but I know everything works out for a reason, and then here I am. So
Yeah, you come to New Hampshire, and who was the first people you got to meet when you got there?
my billets I had at that time it was Landon Stefan was my roommate,
Landon
and then
Stefan.
Ethan Rosenoff later.
Oh,
But
egg
no, it
roll.
was yeah. No, got to meet them, and then no, everyone on the team. It's nice. Like you're with the guys a lot, and you kind of have that community, and then you have people from all over the country, and so you get to you have a lot of similar experiences.
Got to meet the great Steph Bodwin. Takes good care of all our boys. You
Yep.
any fun memories of Steph from over the years?
Um, I just he was always super kind to me, and it was actually interesting. So before I went to the Twin City, I actually went to New Hampshire's main camp, and so I got to meet him there more too, and the coaching staff. So they had like a prior connection to me,
Yeah,
but no, he was always awesome.
he certainly is. I mean, he's one of the people that make the whole thing work. I
Yeah,
mean, like
yeah,
he's a genuine guy. He's one of those guys where
yeah,
it's like we talk about people who, they're about what they're about and they don't pretend to be anything else. He's one of those people. And you know what you're gonna get with him. He's a little sneaky too. He's there's some there. I was he doing the body slam before the games when you were there?
body
Like he
slam.
was doing this thing like before we took the ice where he would run up and like body slam into all the players just to try and get them fired up.
Oh no, but he would do the thing for whoever was the starting goalie for the game. He would have to squirt water in your
Yep,
face.
yep. There's little stuff like
Yeah,
that you don't expect it from
yeah,
him. He's
yeah,
the best. God, I love. We're gonna get him on the podcast one of these days. He doesn't want to do it, but we're
yeah.
gonna get him on. He and I. So I'll just say this, Steph. He and I. I mean, I go in his little dungeon, his cave, before games, and just kind of just shoot the shit with him and have fun and tell jokes and come up with hypotheticals. You got to see a little bit of that. Me and him
Yeah.
just riffing on things, and most of the time he just has kind of no idea like what I'm talking about, but
Yeah, it's okay.
that's part of the fun. Like I said,
Yeah,
I bring what I bring to the table, and that's like when I get to the ring. You remember how I was doing games? I'm loud, I'm fired
hmm,
up, and I have a whole lot of nervous energy that I have to work out before the game to do what I do, and part of that is going and seeing what Steph is up to these days and all that fun stuff. But no, he is an absolute beauty. And one of those guys that just makes everything better. And you got to work with Coach Cam and Coach Trevor, the great Coach Trevor. Uh, what were your impressions of your time in New Hampshire the second half of that year?
I enjoyed them as coaches too. They Trevor too was also a pretty genuine
Oh
guy,
yeah,
and no, it was a fun finish to the year. I'm definitely kind of like the things I remember the most was the amount of kids on the team that would do the prayer circle with me and just be involved in that way too. It's things like that. You don't remember, actually. Everyone says like you don't remember the games as much, like the wins and losses,
Right.
but like the people you meet and the experiences. And I definitely find that to be already true. Like thinking about juniors.
You know, there is something that is definitely true about that. There are guys that I got to know that were only there for a little bit of time. Like one of the guys that made a real impact on me was Tyler Chenevert. Was Chinny there when you were there?
Was
Tyler
who?
Chenevert? Chinny?
Maybe like for a
Yeah,
little
he
bit.
only played one game with the team. But I don't know what it was about Chinny. Like he and we had this, I guess, just this ability to like communicate on a similar level, you know? And I don't know. There was something about him. Like, it was like, hey, you know, this guy, I came to value any time I had with him. I think, like I said, he was only there for a couple weeks, but we had 4 or 5 interactions that were really positive, and I've kind of stayed in touch. I text him every now and then to see what he's up to, you know, and it's stuff like that. Everyone sees the games, especially the fans, but like getting to be on the other side of it and getting to be in the mix and talking to guys, and that's where the memories are made. The stuff away from the ice. I mean, what we do on the ice is, or in the rink, is the most important from like a game aspect, but it's the everyday, the little moments. That's what makes things really special.
100%.
Man, looking at that roster, the Mountain Kings, there's some names I haven't thought of in quite some time. You got to see Aiden Wright, the great Aiden Wright, now at Vermont. I've actually talked to him a little bit. Some other really fun ones. Matt Hanscom, the meanest dude in the Null. Rosenoff, Chalmers, Benoit, Odie Ford. Love Odie Ford. Devin Nabosny, Brandon Spalding, Cam Stelly, who wants to be on the pod soon. Any fun Stelly memories?
No, I just he was always pretty interesting guy. I have a teammate now, Braxton Powers, that he grew up with Stelly too, so you got to share a little bit some connection with knowing him.
I love Stelly so much. He always, every time I'm around him, like my chest hurts from how hard I'm laughing. Hunter Fedorov. You know, Hunter has a brother, Ryder Fedorov, who's a goalie, and
Yep.
he's gonna like go early in the draft this year. That's sick. All the best to Hunter and Ryder. Who else we got? We got Leighton Liffrig. That's a name I haven't thought of in some time. Kim Hilmerson. Any Kim Hilmerson thoughts?
Nothing too much. He's a big boy.
Oh,
That's for sure.
And he was
A lot of New Hampshire connections to Endicott too, and so I definitely see a good amount of them, like Costanzo.
yeah.
I would say I probably keep in touch most with Joey Arnold.
Joe.
Yeah,
That is
yeah.
awesome. He's a good dude. And yeah, we got Hilmerson, Will Murphy, who I like Will Murphy. I don't think he really had a lot of use for whatever I bring to the table. Yeah, I mean, he's just kind of a straightforward guy, you know. It just doesn't. And it's kind of like, you remember the NA3 coach Clint Cassava? It's a similar thing where they're just like, they see something and they see what it is. And I see something and I'm not afraid to like think about what it could be or what it isn't. Like, I take a broader view of things and I like to have fun with things. And I'm not saying that they don't like to have fun, but that's not really what they're about. And the way I always describe my relationship with Coach Cassava is like there's a mutual respect for me for what he does as a coach, and for him what I do is like, you know, a PA guy, a media guy. Like there's a mutual level of respect, but we're not gonna like go hang out after the game. Like we're not gonna
Yeah. It's okay.
I mean,
Not everyone's.
no,
Yeah.
no, and like it's not personal. It's just like my scene is so much different than his, and it's one of those things. Like I say, the way I describe it is, like he doesn't understand my world, but I'm a part of his. Which, hey, that's not a bad setup.
Yeah.
Josh Doolin on that roster, Jack Costanzo, Matt Hale, Sean Bradley, and of course Nick Reef and the great Tommy McDonough. Any Tommy McDonough thoughts?
He was always pretty consistent with me in terms of like praying together, like talking about faith, anything like that. But he's a great guy. He's a genuine guy too.
He's a genuine guy, and he's one of those people. I've stayed in touch with him, and honestly, one of the most talented hockey players I've ever seen at the NA level. He was a fun guy to watch, and all the best to him at Hobart. We're going to get him on the pod, too, eventually.
Oh, nice, yeah.
He's got to go on. So, you end the year in New Hampshire, and then you go off to NCAA, University of New England. And how has that change been for for you as an athlete and as I guess as a student now?
I've grown a lot. Academically, my major is applied exercise science, and I'm on the physical therapy track. So definitely going the health science route is where I see myself. And then hockey-wise, I feel like I've grown because it's kind of like feels like everything's together. Like I mentioned before it seemed like all kind of like separate worlds. And so I've really enjoyed that. Personally, this year was an interesting year hockey-wise. I ended up dislocating my shoulder in preseason. And so didn't really get any opportunities to play coming back since then. But I've been healthy for some time.
That's good.
So I'm thankful for that. I didn't need surgery. But no, the whole, like this the fact that I have everything together, like my real friends here, hockey here, like academics, everything's under one place. My extracurriculars, like I'm an RA this year, like doing cool things like that. It's nice to have everything all together, and then I know this experience will never be the same after college. You won't have like that same time opportunity to have these experiences. So making the most of them for sure.
And I would imagine that with the injury during the preseason, that it's one of those things where you're going to have a lot of time away from the rink, a lot of time spent recovering. Was the whole church crew? I would imagine that really would have had to help keep you going.
100%. Yeah, it's having, like you said, it's like the people that not only like walk or talk the talk, but also walk the walk, right? Like having people that I know have similar values, and just really genuine people that would be there no matter like what I needed. And likewise for me, for them too. You need that people, and you need, especially to my family, even though they're not here, like geographically, they're pretty far away.
There we go. All right, cool. Awesome. So we're going to edit all that out. No one even knows there were any issues.
Yeah.
So, like we were saying, the being injured in preseason, how did your whole church crew help you get through kind of the mental and physical aspects of being away from your team, and kind of having to go through the physical recovery there?
For me, I feel like nothing really changed in terms of like what I did, but I guess you could say it's like the amount of people that I kind of used to help me. So it wasn't that these people weren't already in my corner, but I took, I kind of like let myself be a little bit more, you could say like vulnerable in a way, and like open about sharing kind of like everything I'm feeling, and then using them as kind of a resource, and like just people that I can talk to, and also just kind of like share my thinking. They can share their thinking, and then vice versa, all that.
And it's one of those things where I think that kind of does make the difference between being able to successfully navigate a difficult chapter and going through something and having long-lasting emotional scars, is having people to help you, I guess, kind of like carry the burden, carry the load when it's tough. And it's one of those things where I've been lucky in my life to have people who help support me through difficult times, there have been a few things that I've had to kind of go on my own, but I think that makes you appreciate things more. And I think also it makes you feel like if someone you know is going to be going through something difficult, that you're going to be right there to help them just like they helped you.
100%.
So, University of New England, it's in Biddeford, Maine. Right there by
Right on the water, too.
Too far from right on the water, yeah. And you're not too far from Portland. What's your thoughts on Portland, Maine?
I like it. There's a lot of history. It's kind of like a little Boston.
Yeah.
New England is cool. I definitely enjoyed for college, but definitely after college, I'm going to the South. I'm just a warm weather guy. Yeah, it gets a little cold here.
I don't really blame you there. I like downtown Portland. I like just walking around there.
Yeah,
During
a lot of history.
oh yeah.
The brick roads and all that.
Have you made it to a Maine Mariners game yet?
I have, yes.
That is a pretty cool arena. It kind of seems like the whole arena is kind of like underground in a way, like the way it's built. It feels like you're. Oh, did I lose? Oh, no, I didn't lose. Okay, but it kind of feels like the way it's built, you're kind of just like somewhat submerged.
It's a cool arena. Shoot. All right, I'm back.
There we go.
Okay.
We're gonna
the Wi-Fi came back. So
we're going to edit that out as well. But seeing as we're having some trouble here, we might try and wrap this up a little bit quickly. And
yeah, it's all good.
But hey, this has been a good one, and we're going to have you on again, I hope, if you'd like to. So
yeah, 100%.
You playing in Maine, living in Maine, and you say that thinking about going more towards the south. You were talking about working towards your being more towards like the physical therapy, rehab sort of stuff. Are you planning on like working for a team, kind of doing the Brian Verville route, or is like just maybe going into like private practice?
I think definitely more kind of like overall, like private practice, like also working with teams, and then also being involved in the strength and conditioning side, personal training. And then my vision is to have that all connected under my brand, the Benevolent brand. So having the faith-based, so being able to help people physically as well as spiritually too.
So tell us a little bit about the Benevolent brand, where it started, what's the idea behind it?
Really, it started as just a way to build a platform to share people's stories, kind of like what we're doing and why you reached out to.
Yeah.
Everyone has a story, and so being able to have a platform to share people's stories and then also share their perspectives, everything they've learned. And it's not just people that are Christian, it's a variety of people from all different kind of, you could say, walks of life, occupations. Like I had a best-selling author, I had someone who's owner of a magazine. I've had like close family do it, like all around people I've met that have been willing to kind of like share their story. So it's been cool. And then I also have the physical brand that I'm building connected to it. And then I just want to use that audience and then the people I meet to then build through their connections and continue to grow.
And is it one of those things where, you're going to, we're at the early days of it, and you want to, of course, grow it and continue to, build this. Where do you see it, if your vision kind of plays out the way you intend, where do you see it going?
I see it being built more into a physical brand too, not just like I'm talking about like an apparel line and everything, but having it connected to my future business with the physical therapy, personal training, strength and conditioning. So having it kind of everything under one roof for that aspect. And
where can we find out more if any of the listeners want to check out the Benevolent brand? What are some of the ways we can find out?
Yeah, most of the content I've been posting is on Instagram. So if you look up Benevolent brand, but I also have a YouTube where I have the long form content as well as shorts posted for the podcast style talks. And then I also have a website, benevolentbrand.com, that kind of shares a little bit about the story, has the apparel, and then I'm also, once get kind of like grow it more, having portions of the proceeds go to certain charities.
Well, I've been a supporter of the Benevolent brand basically from the start, and I think it's really cool what you're doing. I mean, there's a lot of stuff out there, and you see a lot of people kind of just like, I don't know, you get so caught up on like the day to day and how am I going to make it to the next paycheck? How am I going to make it to just whatever? But you have a platform to take things further than that and think, how can I make a difference? And I mean, that's what you're doing. And I think that's a really cool thing, because not only do you have the platform to do that, but you also have like the presence of mind to, think about, like, this is something that matters to me. This is something I want to do. And I think that is an incredibly admirable thing.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, we're here with Stefan Carney, the great Stefan Carney. And we're going to have you on again. I hope, this is something that maybe we can turn this into a regular feature.
Yeah.
So check him out, the Benevolent Brand, and just keep following what he's. Like I said, it's the early days, so good things coming for you, man. I really do believe that.
I have one question for you. What's with the 25 degrees? Where did you get that from?
So 25 was my high school baseball number.
Oh.
And I like that number. It's a good number. And when I decided to start the podcast a few months ago, I walked into the rink, and in the Zamboni area of Delta Dental Arena, the rink formerly known as Tri-Town, there is a thermometer right there that has the temperature of the ice. And the temperature of the ice that day was 25 degrees. And I got to thinking, I thought, man, 25, that's a number that I like. One of my favorite hockey podcasts is 6 Degrees with Mike McKenna. And kind of as a tribute to the great goalie and guy who ran a really good podcast for a long time, I just said, 25 degrees.
I like it.
Yeah, I think it's a catchy name. I think it's fun. So and it ties in a lot of both the baseball side, which I've done some baseball stuff on here, and it ties in the hockey side as well.
I love it.
Awesome, man. Well, hey, thank you so much for joining, and we're gonna do this again very soon.
Yes.
All right, folks. Well, we're gonna have some more during the vacation. We're gonna be back to normal with your daily uploads on Monday the 27th, but we're going to have some content for you on vacation. Just because I'm on vacation doesn't mean I'm going to slack off. Now, we're putting in work, folks. But check back, and we'll keep you posted. Well, thank you, Steph.
Appreciate you.